Beyond the Wild.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Wild podcast, coming to you from Douglas, Wyoming tonight. From myself, Mark, how have you been?
Fantastic. Beautiful winter day here. Snow in the air. Snowies have started to arrive from the north. Always an exciting welcome of winter to see that. And I have friends that have been out, but I have not yet due to circumstances, but look forward to that. Things are good. How about you, Ron?
It's good. We had a little, almost like a hailstorm, but it was snow, but it was kind of haily feeling. Made the dog nervous. So I know that's the telltale, not a normal snowstorm. So, and you guys will be happy to know that we've caught Mark at home for 2 podcasts in a row now. He's back from his fall escapades for good for a bit.
There'll be a lot more at home for the weeks and months ahead, and I may even get back in front of that jade plant for those. I will work on the studio. The flooring still is not done. Hopefully in the next week or so, or later this week, actually. Then I can pivot. But the jade plant's been indoors and it's like blossoming like mad. It's beautiful right now. It's its highlight time of year. So maybe the next episode I'll have to sit there.
Excellent. And tonight, coming to us from Jackson, Wyoming, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna introduce by first names initially, and then at the end of the podcast, as we always do, we'll let you know where to find them. But Tristen and Neil, thank you for coming on. Neil Simmons, Tristen Moffett, thanks for coming on the podcast and giving us your time. You guys just got through a little bit of a snowstorm, right?
Yes, we're it has been snowing quite a bit here the last few days, and we're hoping that it sticks around. We're ready for some snowy photography.
Yep, but we just came from Idaho Falls. That means we have to go over Teton Pass.
Going over the pass, yeah.
Plenty of snow up there.
Yeah, so I was there a few weeks ago, and you didn't even know it was autumn except for the leaves had fallen off. It was unseasonably warm. Yes. Photographed in a vest and a sweatshirt in November. So it was a little bit, I don't know how to feel about it. Now, are you guys skiers too, or just photographers?
Snowboarders.
Yeah, we're both snowboarders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. We've been waiting for snowy moose photos. We were hoping for the snow to arrive before the moose drop their antlers. Yeah. So hopefully this sticks around for us.
Yeah, but it's ultimate to wake up to fresh snow sitting in their antlers. That's
sure.
The highlight. Yep.
Yeah. So just a little insider intel. When do you guys find that the bigger bulls are typically dropping? Because they're all kind of gathered up right now.
They could start any day now. I mean, Hoback last year was very early December.
I think it was December, either the 8th or the 10th. Yeah. So the bigger guys will start dropping, and we're hoping that the snow will push them a little bit closer and we can get some shots before that happens.
Yeah.
Yep. Typically we're saying January, but we've definitely seen them dropping in December. And as we all know, the bigger the paddles, the
heavier,
they fall.
The quicker they drop. Yeah, for sure. I've got my daughter's fiance's family is coming over at the end of the month. And I was kind of hoping to get them over there in time to see at least a couple bulls. They really want to see a moose. They're from the UK. So
nice.
We'll see what happens. But hopefully a couple of them will hang on, younger guys.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So ladies first.
Okay.
Tristen. How did you get started with, you guys have been in Wyoming for about a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get started with wildlife photography? Is that something that you did prior to moving to Wyoming, or?
No, not wildlife photography. I did photography. I'm originally from Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved to Jackson, I would go take my kids to school and drop them off, head out into the park every day. And for the first, I'd say 2 years, I would go out and I would watch. I would watch all the regulars and I would listen, and I learned for 2 years. I'm a talker, but I didn't talk. I just really paid attention, and I learned so much from a lot of the older locals that have been here for years and years and years. People that have been photographing 399 for 15 years. I just learned. I learned where the moose are at what times of year. I learned where the bears' patterns take them. I just soaked it all in, and wildlife photography took on a life of its own just living here.
I think that's unique, because it seems that all too often people want to share every bit of knowledge that they have right out of the gate, and the ability to sit back and listen and be humble and pay attention to those that have gone before, I think probably gave you a big jump as far as local knowledge right away.
There's a lot to be learned from the people that have been doing this for years and years here. You know, the Tom Mangelsons and there's lots of other people besides Tom that have been doing this for years. And
absolutely,
there's stories of the wildlife here, and you know, of course, all of the 399 stories, but just their stories in general. I think that more young people here could really learn by just listening a little bit more. It definitely got me where I am right now. That's for sure.
Well, and it doesn't hurt to be where you are.
Yes. Yes.
There's no shortage of subjects.
Yes. Or beauty.
or beauty, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
One thing quickly is something about learning the process of wildlife photography, especially with mammals and birds, is learning the species, right? And our camera equipment is so advanced nowadays that people can do so well with that right out of the gate. But I think one of the most important elements to continued or consistent success is understanding the animals. So to have taken that time is, I think, a wonderful way to have a learning curve into wildlife photography.
Yeah,
absolutely. How about you, Neil? Same question.
So the question was, how did I get into wildlife photography? So certainly have to just tell the quick story that I've always done photography. I've always been around it as a kid. My grandfather had a darkroom. I went to college. You know, it's all film. All my education was all film. I've been a professional photographer for 24 years now. So that's over 500 weddings. That's thousands of portraits. You know, I have to tell that part of my history to set the rest of the stories. Just basically, I truly love photographing everything. And most people pick a thing or two and that's their thing. But you want to talk the Milky Way, you want to talk about a baby photo shoot, you want to talk, I mean, I have an answer or a light or a lens or whatever it is. I truly love to do it. I love the challenge of it. But moving here, you know, 9-10 years ago, like we were saying, like, what's the next challenge, right? And so for me, we all dreamed of, like, I've never had a reason to own a 600 millimeter lens, but I moved here, so of course I'm going to buy a 600 millimeter lens. And same thing as Tristen. Just, you know, we have the 4 seasons here, learning the patterns of the animals, and it's just, you just fall in love with it. I think it just kind of speaks for itself. I always tell the story of, you know, when we have guests that come here and you're just so excited to see, like, your first grizzly or your first wolf or something like that. And then then you get a little spoiled and you're like, okay, well now I want perfect lighting and I want perfect backgrounds, and just to have that experience, it always keeps me coming back no matter what.
Right. One day you decide you want a perfect background and you go out and you just get it because you're in
Yep.
Jackson. You can get whatever you want. Yeah, I was
Lots
going to.
of days.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to touch on that later on, but you do have a couple different pages on Instagram, and one of them is your wedding photography portfolio, basically. So, yep, I knew that you had other avenues of your to basically express your art. So,
Yep.
so now, do you do destination weddings, or do you primarily do weddings there in Jackson?
I do. I honestly only do 5 to 10 weddings a year. Just I think they're fun. Most people would not say they're fun, but I've done it so long that to show up with a smile on my face, have a good time, and it's a lot of fun.
He's not going to say this, but people fly him places to photograph their wedding because he makes humans look amazing. And he has a gift with dealing with stressful situations. And
definitely.
So it's,
whether it's a grizzly bear or a bride, or I'm going to stay calm.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm about to have both at my daughter's wedding next year, probably, but
grizzly and
yep, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, exactly.
To quote Forrest Gump.
I think there's a lot to be said for somebody who works all elements of photography, right? I mean, I thrive in striving to continually improve in a niche, just because of my strongest passions. But photography is so incredibly diverse way to record everything in life and important moments for people, whether it's weddings or baby pictures or in the field, first time seeing a grizzly bear, right? I mean, and the Milky Way, right? It's honestly enjoy conversations with generalist photographers who appreciate the challenge of each type of photography, because there's so many elements to it. There's the technical elements, there's the psychological elements, it's a lot to each package. So it's I'm happy to hear that Neil, you're into everything about photography.
Yeah, it's not most people's route, and you talk to Professional Photographers of America, organizations like that, or teachers I had. I mean, they're going to tell you to pick a thing and stick with it and be the best wedding photographer you can, or whatever it is. But that is not how my career is turned out, and I always joke around if the phone rings, I'm for hire, and we do so many tours, that it's really just little bits here and there. For instance, July is a slower time for us. I can shoot as many weddings, as people can ask me about, but come September and October, that's prime time to be out in Yellowstone and Tetons, and so pretty much out chasing wildlife at that point.
So since you brought it up, talk to us about how that developed in the tour and the guiding business.
We have Roam Wild photo tours. So we take out photographers. We have clients that fly in from all over, and we guide in both the Tetons and in Yellowstone. It started as Neil's parents had some friends that were coming into town, and they did photography and they wanted to go to Yellowstone. And so we took them, and after we were up there for 3 days, and we kind of looked at each other at the end and we thought, that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. I absolutely love talking about wildlife and just sharing everything about wildlife that I can. And Neil loves to talk numbers and photography, and together,
I like animals too.
yeah, but together it just kind of worked, and we decided to make a go of it.
Yeah.
And 4 years later, we're pretty much booked every season, and we are branching out over the next year. It will be surprises coming to Rome Wild Photo Tours. We're branching out from Yellowstone and the Tetons, and we're really excited about what's to come. And we, because it's our business, and we kind of get to do things the way that we want to do it, we're really upfront when our clients call and they want to photograph moose, or they want to photograph bears, or bear cubs, or whatever it is. We'll say, you want to be in this park, and you want this time of year. We love showing people their dream moments to photograph, and we have a good relationship with our clients, and we have a lot of repeat clients because of the different seasons here, and the different each month is different. Each month has wildlife that shines that month, right? You have all things with antlers, or this month in December you have the bighorn sheep, and just every month is something different and fantastic, and it's highlighted. And we love taking people out and showing them the animals and achieving their dream of photographing them.
Neil, do you have anything to add?
Say any month but July. It's a great time to be here.
July's wedding month. Okay, we got that blocked out.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Wildlife is hiding, and I just, like she said, we love all the different seasons. Each month has something different to show people, and we're heading into the exciting January and February. That's some of our favorite times of the year to be in Yellowstone and being on snow coaches, and also doing road-based tours through Lamar Valley. But I mean, we're doing 4 snow coaches this winter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of my favorite things to, 2 days each one. So we'll have 8 different days we'll be on snow coaches. And I mean, my favorite wildlife experience ever was on a snow coach 2 years ago. So you really get Yellowstone to yourself.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, we had what, 14 wolves is the number.
Yeah.
They were so close that we had to purposely go to the side to be diagonal with them, because they were so close to the road that we just had just an amazing,
to be the proper distance that you're supposed to be, and
they were across the river. I mean, there were 50 other people got to witness it, but it was an amazing, incredible 2 days. There was, like we were saying, 14 wolves. We got to see them take down a bison. So that's not an easy feat for people who know, that wolves can take down smaller prey easier. And he was a big, 2,000 pound bull. And as people know, they take down their haunches or get a little something on his backside started, and we got to watch him for a day, slowly take him down. But just what an incredible experience to listen to them howl, to watch them take down, watch how the pack worked together. That part was incredible. From the yearlings to the alpha female and male, and to see who, they'd constantly watch this bison. They would basically wouldn't let him sit down, wouldn't let him lay down. And they would just watching this, they're not communicating any of this stuff. So you're just wondering to yourself, like, how do they know? How does this one know it's their turn to not let the bison lay down? And the second he does. Someone will come over here and get him to stand up, things like that. But anything to add to that? It was just an amazing experience. 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, 8 hours each day.
You had to be on a snow coach to see it. It was incredibly difficult to watch, and at the same time, it was unbelievable to see these animals. At one point, all of the wolves came from different directions, and they all just disappeared. And it was like choreographed. They all just disappeared at the exact same time. And then about a minute later,
maybe 2,
they all had met up out of sight and came in from the trees all together. And there was this like orchestrated, choreographed, planned, attack basically. But watching it and seeing the way that these animals work together, communicate, the hierarchy, like everything about that was incredible to watch. Yes, it's nature. Yes, they have to eat. Yes, it was brutal at times, but when you're there, when you're out there, just taking away basically learning from these animals.
You're observing something that's been happening for thousands of years, right? Wolves and bison, tens of thousands, millennia. Right? It's to be able to witness that is something that is rarely done. I mean, Yellowstone's an exceptional place for that, from my understanding. At least there's an opportunity, a hope, wish, and prayer that kind of wild, historic event unraveling in front of you could happen. I can appreciate the power and symbolism of, wild North America. That's history there. And amazing. And social dynamics in a wolf pack. I mean, how can you beat that?
Incredible. Yeah.
And you know what happens daily, but to be there, that's something different.
Yeah.
Jason got some good video. Was it last year, Mark, or the year? It might have been the same.
I think
it was historic. It was a once every 10-year kind of event.
Yeah. Yep. So
I think it was last year he did. It was last winter.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
So we got you guys named from a friend of mine, Bill Sienkiewicz over in DuBois, and I think you guys have worked with or been around Bill a bit.
Of course.
I just saw Bill 2 days ago.
Yeah, he was back over. I just went over. We came and photographed. We did find Hoback, and then I don't know what you guys are calling that. The bull looks like he broke off part of the paddle.
We've been calling him lopsided guy.
Yeah.
Some people are calling him hacksaw, we heard, but we've just been calling him lopsided. Yeah. He's beautiful though.
He's one side, if he matched, holy smokes, that's a monster moose.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what he looks like next year.
Yeah.
But we had them right in front of the Grand, and like you say, those backgrounds that you just kind of dream about.
Yeah.
So where is your favorite location? Where's your favorite location to photograph on your own? And you don't have to give specifics. I mean, just general areas, and then where is your favorite place to take your clients? Is it in Yellowstone or Grand Teton?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we lean towards Yellowstone just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Our reason is because we just love how unexpected things happen in Yellowstone. Not to say that everything's predictable in the Tetons, but you just don't, just something, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just a magic that you go to Yellowstone and you just truly don't know what's going to happen that day. Is a wolf pack going to take down an elk and just be perfectly 100 yards away, and we're going to have this amazing day of, we certainly have a few wolf packs here in the Tetons, but there's a few special ones in Yellowstone that really just make it special. But of course, the Tetons here, we have the amazing moose, so you can't say but maybe it's 60-40 that I lean towards Yellowstone just a little bit, because of course, big, huge bull moose here in Tetons are very special. But I just think we love taking clients 3 seasons of the year. We're telling people, hey, you need to be in Yellowstone. And of course, fall, we're telling them you need to be here in the Tetons.
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys have been there just about the perfect amount of time. So 10 years ago, you wouldn't really hear too many stories about wolves taking down a bison because the packs just weren't large enough.
Yeah.
And now some of those packs have grown to the point where they hunt bison regularly just because there's enough of them that they can successfully accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
So what would you say as far as the wolf dynamics and the changes that you've seen over the past decade in those two areas, or the most significant changes? Sorry.
Certainly, you have to talk about the Molly's pack if you're going to talk about those things. And I don't know where the Molly's pack movie is as far as people can view it, but we were able to see a showing here, I guess, last winter, right?
Yeah.
In Jackson Hole here. I know, like a lot of documentaries like that, they kind of got to get PBS, Netflix, get someone to pick it up. I don't know how accessible it is to people, but the story is amazing. And of course, like you're saying, the Molly's pack is special in the sense that their physical size, they say, is about 15-20% bigger. So if I think the numbers, like if a normal wolf is somewhere around 100 pounds, they're like 120, 130 pounds. So their actual physical size helps them take down bison, and the area that we know where they cover a huge area. But if you had to pick one area to say of where they hang out, it is, you can see why they take down bison. We don't see elk in that area. So you have to tell the Molly's pack story. When we talk about this stuff, they're the oldest pack. They're the only original of the 3 original packs to still be here.
And they're the pack that started taking down bison.
Yeah.
They're the original pack that started taking down the bison, and it's based sheerly on their physical size, not their pack size, but their physical size. But the instance that we're talking about a couple of years ago, that was actually the Wapitis that took down the bison.
So that goes against what we were saying,
and they're huge in numbers. That pack, is a very large pack. We see, I would say in the winter months, we have roughly 7 different packs that we have, opportunities to see.
Yeah.
And probably in the summer months, I'd say really based on where we are, it's about 2 packs that we have opportunities to see. And there are wolves here in the Tetons as well. And they are definitely more of a winter and early spring.
Yeah, well, the big event that's was probably delayed this year, but the elk migration coming out of Yellowstone National Park could probably bring some of those wolves with it as they move out of the park and into Jackson Hole and onto the the feeding grounds.
Yeah,
it creates what would you call it? An artificial scenario for both the elk and the wolves, because now you've got all those animals congregated out there, and it's kind of easy pickings for a wolf pack.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's 2 strong viewpoints on the elk refuge. And we see both sides of it for sure. And as far as the wolves go, last year there was a official new pack, the Blacktail Butte pack. And if anything, it's the wolves are taking down the weak, right? Like they're running the elk every day and they're taking down the weak. On the elk refuge, there's problems because there's too many animals, in a close space, and disease is spread, and there's problems based on that, and so, yeah, the wolves are definitely, taking down the sick and the weak.
Yeah, you look at the brucellosis epidemic between the bison and the elk, and that it is nice that there is a predator out there that is kind of at least keeping the numbers in check. Still high, but keeping them in check.
And and we have the chronic waste disease.
Chronic wasting,
out there, and with that many animals that close together,
Sidebar, I saw there was finally a, not successful treatment yet, but they've identified a strain of deer in Oklahoma that are resistant. So they're hopeful that they'll be able to figure out why and possibly treat. We've got mule deer populations in Wyoming that are 100%, including right here where I am, 100% affected by chronic wasting disease.
Wow.
Now, whether that's fatal or not, it depends on the deer or how long it takes, because it does take longer for some than others. But yeah, I agree, 100%. You've got that many animals in close proximity, so yeah, and again, like you guys alluded to earlier, it's sometimes those things in nature are tough to watch. It's not why you grab a camera necessarily, but at the same time, I always want to know what the animals are doing when we're not there, and sometimes you get a glimpse into that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, for sure. We've actually been getting into trail cams just for the purpose of seeing the migration of these animals, how they behave when humans are not around. And it's really been cool. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of geeking out on it. Yeah. Just getting a glimpse of, where they're traveling, or, by us watching them for so many years, we felt like we had good ideas, and, let's, put a camera here and see if this is the case. And, we've really been having a lot of fun with that. And I will say, only in the national forest, not in the national park.
But in 2 weeks, we had we had 2 wolves, we had 2 different grizzlies, we had a mountain lion, we had several coyotes, 1 fox. In 1 2-week period, in this one spot where we have a camera.
Camera trap or trail camera?
It's trail cam.
Trail cam.
Yeah.
Okay. I use trail cameras a lot, and they're fun. So just some, maybe let's throw 3 or 4 tips on trail cameras that you've learned that help people set up, right? I mean,
I think the biggest tip is finding a game trail, right? In the national forest, like Tristen said. Here we have to pay attention to, does it have migration closures from November 30th to May 1st? There's kind of 50-50. You have areas that have that, you have areas that don't. It is great to access your camera anytime you want and not have those kind of closures. But of course, there's just game trails that even if it's in that closure time, it's just going to be really fun to see what you're going to get in 5 months. But just absolutely just paying attention to the game trail, what kind of tracks. I mean, we just love tracks. Doesn't mean you're going to see that grizzly, doesn't mean you're going to see those wolves, but one of our favorite stories we always tell is the ultimate is finding a grizzly track with a wolf track in it. You're like, okay, what were these guys up to that they're both following each other? And we just love things like that. And if you found those tracks in the national forest, that's probably a great place to put a trail cam.
Honestly, that's how we did it. Yeah. I mean, we have them in several spots,
sure,
with different wildlife in mind.
Yeah.
But one of the camera that we put where we had all of that in 2 weeks, we had actually just gone on a hike, and we were following bear tracks with wolf tracks in the bear tracks, and we were like, we have to put a camera out here.
Yeah, that's cool. The ultimate.
Or 2 or 3 or
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd like to add to that, besides game trails and following tracks, scent trees. We're big on finding scent trees. You know, the bears.
Put the camera right on the scent tree.
Yep.
No, a little away.
Next tree over.
Yeah. The bears use these scent trees for so many different reasons. It's, the males use them, but also the females use them. And we kind of learned a lot about that this year as far as the females.
It was always males doing it, but now it's females marking their territory just as much, or letting other male bears know that she's there.
And I learned this year that a female will go to a scent tree that her mother had gone to. And we really have gotten into the whole scent trees. And so
if you found scratches and hair in a tree, you found a good spot.
That's fun. So it's amazing to photograph that behavior, witness it first and foremost, right? When they stretch up, scratch the tree, reach up with their claws and scratch your back, but also scratch your tree with their claws. Some will bite bark off of the tree. It's like, wow, really into this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with before the topic changes with the trail cameras, I mean, they keep coming down in price, and they're great with, a lot of them are infrared, minimal disturbance at night. So there's not the incandescent flashes they used to have. The battery life, as you guys pointed out, can last for months, which is exceptional. Handicap to that is wintertime. If you're minus 20 a night, then the batteries might not last for months, but something to be aware of. Do you, at this point, have a brand that you like? As far as, we don't have a trail cam sponsor, so we can throw out any brand out there. And also, with bears, something is making sure that I assume that you have a brand that you can get a metal housing for, because
that's
all animals, I mean, everything smells when it's new, the plastic, right? So I usually let mine sit if it's going to be in a sensitive area for a while before putting it out. But even handling it, over rain and weather will remove scent from a camera, but their noses are better than ours. So they're always going to be curious, which great photos and videos on a trail camera, but it has to be protected for some species. So what have you found for that?
We can say that we have had great luck with the Browning company. Like you're saying, the boxes that are made perfectly, the locks that are made perfectly for those same boxes, just nice clear quality. It's HD. Some do 4K, but we're not expecting amazing quality out of a tiny lens. But just, I think it's worth the extra money. They're about $200 a piece once you have the box and a good memory card and a good lock. But that's a great tip to tell people to leave it outside. Yep. Like you're saying, you're still going to have your scent on it. I haven't thought to wear rubber gloves or anything like that, but that would be a great way to not just to be as invasive as possible.
Well, if you have the metal housing, a little bit of scent is going to create some funny images. You're going to have whisker shots, and then you could post up the whisker shots saying, guess which animal this is.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
As long as it's secure and they can't damage it, then there's that. But that's it's like a little gift box every time there's cellular ones where that's connection, right? People can get the instantaneous result. But for those that mine, I just switch the memory cards whenever it's convenient. So it's
we've tried to sell without luck, but I mean, we're bordering, we're in the middle of nowhere with these things. So maybe they'd work great if you had a backyard with 20 acres or something like that, maybe it'd work great. But where we're putting our cameras, we're just not getting enough coverage. I mean, they would work, but then, so I would get something on my phone, but then, okay, 4 months later, I'd go out like, oh, there's all kinds of bears that came, and I had no idea, and I thought I was going out there to nothing, or a couple elk or something on a camera, but like, oh no, Bruno came by 10 times on the camera here. Okay.
Yeah, just switch the memory cards, and I guess with the cellular ones too, virtually all of them, I think anyway, have an antenna, so that's another thing bears could play with, right?
Yeah.
Makes it vulnerable, but fun stuff.
They're a lot of fun. Yeah, we're totally addicted.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Always a surprise.
And any interest in the camera trapping?
I mean, I certainly love being a professional photographer forever and having studio lights, and I do love a perfect shot of, we call it blue hour, where the sun had set and it's not too dark, but I mean, to me, that is an artistic shot that would go on someone's wall. That's kind of the one and only time I think it looks like studio lighting for an animal. And it's just such a beautiful thing when, I mean, it's luck, right? That animal came by right at that perfect time, especially when it's something rare, for like a lynx or a bobcat or mountain lion, just something Wolverine. And then you have this perfect studio lighting. I'm certainly a fan. We haven't delved in that yet, but I certainly appreciate people's work when I see it.
Once you say Wolverine, the whole energy changes right there.
I know, everything. We're gone. We just did a podcast with Julia Cook, who's a photographer up in Cody.
We know her well.
Yeah, Julie's a great gal. And great young photographer. But anyway, we were talking to her, and she says, oh yeah, well, I saw Wolverine in Yellowstone. And I'm like,
we know her story.
We know the story.
She doesn't have a photo to show.
We know the story.
Right? Yeah. No photos.
No.
My favorite encounter in Yellowstone was a pine marten chasing the snowshoe hare right down the middle of the highway. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Couldn't get a camera out, couldn't get a camera on it, but it was, we made up for it though. We had one chasing a squirrel around a tree for probably 45 minutes that we were able to get video of. And so probably pretty close to the same spot you guys were on the wolves, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Seeing a pine marten makes my day any day.
Yeah.
They're my top 5.
Yep.
Okay. What are the other 4, Neil? Put you on the spot.
I think my favorite thing to see is a grizzly. If I had to pick one, and then don't ask me to number them perfectly in order, but certainly moose and wolves, and then ermine and pine marten are just close together.
Awesome. How about you, Tristen?
Every single client that gets in our car asks us that question, and for me, I love moose so much, like a big, huge, incredible bull moose. But I love bears. I mean, it's, for me, that's a tie between moose and bears, and for me, that's also 2 different seasons, really, because I love bears in the spring, and moose, are my favorite thing in the fall. But of course, wolves are incredible. I think there is nothing more frustrating than photographing an ermine, and I am always up to the challenge. I think I really love to photograph it all. Really, I love all of it. But a red fox in the snow in Yellowstone, a frosty bison walking at you. I love it all.
Fully agree. And I think you probably came pretty close to hitting Mark right on the right on the head too. Bears in the spring, moose in the fall.
Yep. Speaking of tracks, my favorite track is a bear track in the snow. When they first wake up, or going to hibernate right around now, or last couple of weeks. But big old track, nothing cooler than that. I mean, we probably saw our biggest bear track ever. I
were walking out to the trail cam.
And unfortunately, he was walking the other way on our trail cam. But I know you can't win. I mean,
got Bruno's butt.
Yeah, exactly.
You only know it was him because he blocked out the sun.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
If we get that sponsorship, though, we're putting trail cams going both
ways.
There you go.
Yeah, after we saw that one, we want them both ways now.
We can't win. See, it's 50-50. The animal's either coming or going.
Yep.
Which end are you seeing?
All the bases covered, and you've got the complete video, right?
Yeah.
Mine that's another thing. A lot of trail cams, you can have hybrid mode, right? So it'll do a video and stills for each.
Yes.
So do you have the coming and the going? Why not? Social media eat that up.
Yep.
I keep joking. One of our trail cams will put vertical to make Instagram.
That's the real cam.
Yeah.
All the things that we all do, right?
Yeah, for sure. So you guys ever get out east of Wyoming? Or are you too busy over there in the west?
Just for fun. Yeah. We love the wild horses, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking of going in that direction, couple times a year, especially repeat clients, people that we're trying to mix it up with. I mean, we absolutely love going to see the stallions in the desert, and that's amazing. That's only 4 hours away from us.
Yep.
Relatively very close, and definitely worth going when it's not flash flood time.
Right.
Yeah. We do. We love heading. We go just for us up to the Beartooths each year, and do the wildlife and the wildflowers. That's incredible. And the horses this year, we had burrowing owls out there. Yes. That was unbelievable. Yeah. We do get a few other places just for us, but we do take clients out to do the wild horses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wild horses are fun, and everybody loves them. Even though, I mean, technically, most populations, even in Wyoming, are not quote unquote wild. There's only one wild horse population in the state, and in a beautiful spot. But there are a lot of horses that are not domesticated and don't act like it either. I mean, they're very wild.
Yes.
But yeah, they do inhabit some places that not only have the burrowing owls, swift fox, sage grouse. They all occur in the same areas, and does provide opportunities you guys may not get as readily over there where you're at. But I agree, there is something every month of the year. I'm always jealous of the Jackson and Cody photographers, because there's no down season except for July, because it's too stinking hot. Yeah.
You can find something in July.
You can.
You can find it, but honestly,
you're up early and out late.
Yeah, that's one of the best times for swift fox, because the kids are getting older, so they're out playing all the time. They're getting ready to go hunt, and they don't mind the heat. So July's not bad, but that's the only thing I like photographing in July.
Yeah. It's a good time to go on adventures with our kids. Yeah.
We did have an incredible encounter in July. Was it July or August this year? That was the wolves on the bison kill in Yellowstone.
That was
River.
In August.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That was in August.
Close to July.
Yeah.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So thinking about people who have never been to the Grand Tetons or Yellowstone, I know the numbers aren't high, but they're out there. And you moved there with purpose, sounds like. and you have a decade of experience and and clearly are loving every minute of it. What would you, I don't know if we should separate the two, the Tetons and Yellowstone or not, but what would you say is the most magical elements, excites you still about these destinations for people who haven't come? And what would the reasons being to make the effort there? I mean, a lot of people know because they're world famous national parks and destinations, but with your intimate experience, how would you describe these wonderful places to somebody who hasn't been there?
Yeah,
I'll take a turn.
Okay.
I mean, one thing, this doesn't answer your question exactly, but I'll just say it anyway. One of my favorite things is the geysers, right? And so you'll have a lot of locals, you'll have a lot of people, maybe they've been here a few times, they're like, I'm not going anywhere near the geysers, like that's where everybody goes. But I think there's so much magic to unlock there still. There's an app for your phone called Geyser Times. You can try to, I kind of obsess over everything, but I obsess over like rainbows. You have a 27-degree angle, and how do I get a rainbow on? So, the predictable geysers, 7 of the different predictable ones, I want to get a rainbow on them, right? And then I want to get the Milky Way behind the geysers. And then in Comet Neowise, 4 years ago, I got the comet behind all the different geysers. And I mean, I just love, an app like Photo Pills that you can just kind of obsess over, trying to align things like that. But I know that doesn't exactly answer your question, but
Well, it highlights that it goes beyond wildlife.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so many people write off the geysers that I just like to bring that up because it's such an amazing part of, everyone thinks Old Faithful, but I always like to tell people, hey, I mean, Castle Geyser is my favorite, and it's like a couple hundred yards away from Old Faithful, and that thing will go off for 45 minutes, and I walk away after a half hour going like, okay, it was amazing, and it's still going, and I'm going to check out another Riverside Geyser or something like that. But
Grand is my favorite.
Yeah, and Old Faithful goes for like it's an underwhelming like 45 seconds. And just I think every part of these parks is worth visiting, and people kind of write off the geysers quick. I think they're and I'll give a bit of information. In the fall, you tend to have the sun lower in the sky. It's a better chance to catch a rainbow than some other times of year.
Okay, so our friend Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yep.
We'll just talk about Bill for a minute.
Yep.
We had an amazing shoot. We got on a road that has a lot of control in it. They've kind of shut it down now for being able to photograph in there, but we got parked in the only spot you can park on that road and photograph this young black bear feeding for about 40 minutes. And so we go out of there and we're kind of going out to go back, check for the moose later in the afternoon. And I stopped probably 3 or 4 times taking these rainbow shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Bill is just harassing me. You can't believe that a wildlife photographer would stop and photograph a rainbow. And oh, great, he's stopping for another rainbow. I'll meet you down the road. And yeah, there's something to it. You get those backgrounds, right? And you can't almost help yourself to be able to paint that color in the sky around the beautiful scenery that Grand Teton or Yellowstone allows you to have. So
it reminds me of a story that we have a client who's hired us at least 5 times, and we had the Northern Lights here, incredible, just off the charts Northern Lights, and he was hired us for like 4 days, and he didn't have a landscape lens with him. We had to go rent a landscape lens from our local camera store here. And it's like, really, you came to the Tetons here. You should probably have a little 24-70. They're not that big, especially when you have these giant 400s and 600s in your bag. You can probably throw a 24-70 in your bag. And it was off the charts. Northern Lights, our apps on our phone there's no denying we better go out tonight. And it was probably our best Northern Lights experience ever. So I'm glad we did. But
it was crazy.
The landscapes are not to be overlooked, whether you only want wildlife or not. You should probably have, just like you're saying, if there's this incredible storm comes and goes, these incredible rainbow, you should probably take a couple shots. Be ready for that.
I think back to your question about showing people or telling people about each park, maybe that, they haven't been here before. We always say that the Tetons have the landscapes. The mountain views are incredible here, and the light changes constantly, right? And when we leave town in the morning and you go around one corner and you see the Tetons, and unless it's a whiteout, it's snowing, every single day we come around that corner from town and see the Tetons. It takes your breath away every day. The light is different. The clouds are different. There's a layer of fog. There's a cool lenticular cloud. Every day is different. And to capture that, it's the coolest, we take our clients to do quite a few landscapes when we're here in the Tetons. And in the fall, we do a ton of landscapes because, it's just, with the aspens and the color.
Color is crazy over there.
The color is unbelievable. And the mountains in the background. And, I'd say in the fall here, it's 50-50 for sure, wildlife, landscapes. And that's not to say that Yellowstone doesn't have the landscapes. It's just different. They don't have these mountain views that we have, and it's different. And to me, my favorite part of Yellowstone is the unknown of every day. That's my favorite part.
Well, you live in a wonderful, beautiful place, right? And to have that opportunity to have that view and notice that it's always different, always changing. You deserve credit for that in my books, that you're observing that and loving every moment of it and taking it all in. And yeah, I've heard from my close friends that have spent a lot of time in Yellowstone that, you just never know. And that's the joy of wildlife photography. That's the thrill of it. There are quiet days, nothing happens, and then there are magical days, and it's, you live in an incredible part of this continent to be immersed in that. So it's pretty amazing.
We don't take it for granted.
We don't.
Clearly.
Yeah. I was telling Mark right before we got started, said, well, because you guys kind of got held up with the storm, I said, yeah, they're making Instagram posts. And it was it was actually you were talking about the bear tracks, and that was the kind of reel you put up there was the bear tracks, and then leading to the bear images and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Even in Grand Teton, you never know what you might find.
No, it's true for sure. Yes.
Well, thank you guys very much for coming on and sharing. But I do have to ask though, how did you guys meet Bill? We're going to have Bill on.
How did we meet Bill?
I think just from being out there for me. But
for me, Bill and I were messaging often on Instagram because I love going over to his side, and I want to photograph more over on his side of Togety Pass. So
there's not as much.
Yeah, but they, I think it's good though. I think it's good. And for me, it's warmer and less snowy.
Yeah, well, that is a fact.
Yes. Yeah. Through Instagram and messaging, and then finally meeting out there in the field.
Yeah. No, Bill's a great guy. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
we
were just talking pine martens.
Yeah, we just saw him like 2 days ago. Yeah.
He was photographing the pine marten.
Found a snowshoe hare, and one of the bigger wolf tracks I've seen in a while was over on his side. We thought they were hare tracks, and then we finally stopped and looked, and it was like, that thing, it's too big. And then got out, sure enough, it was a wolf track. And then there were smaller, wolf tracks around it, but the one was very large.
Very cool. And there's bobcats over that way, and I'm all in.
Okay, so here's what you need to know about Bill. Is he never leaves his back porch. He photographs everything from his back porch.
So. Oh, I know. I know. He told me.
There's an open invitation. We just need
to, we just have to get out there.
It's worth doing for sure.
Yes.
And you guys are welcome if you ever get the hankering to come over and photograph Swift Fox. Come on over.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get you out, even in July, early.
All right.
Early July.
We're in.
Next time Jackson plays a football game in Douglas.
Yeah. Let me know on that too. I'll save you a hotel.
Yep.
So for our listeners, please give out your Instagram pages so they can check out your excellent work and have more insight into what you're doing, and as well as your tour information.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. My Instagram is wildly.Tristen. And we also have Roam Wild photo tours as well for our Instagram. And I'll give you
for me, it's Neil Simmons Photography. That's all across the board, Instagram and Facebook and my website as well.
And roamwildphototours.com is our website. And we just love what we do and love sharing it with people, whether it's, social media or on tour with us. And I think we kind of have our dream job.
Yes.
Amen to that.
I think you do too.
Yeah. There's nothing better than sharing it. And when you've immersed yourselves in a magical place like you have for as long as you have, then you have a wealth of information and experience. And I hope we meet in the field someday. And it's been a delight hearing your stories. And I can imagine the magic that happens outside your door and the days that you spend in the field. So thank you both for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you to our sponsors, Pictureline. You know the routine. Colin Bigelow at Pictureline. If you're looking for anything to do with camera gear, he's our contact there. Please let him know you come from Beyond the Wild podcast. Also, Canon USA, of course. Thank you for their support of the show. And you can find out more information about the podcast, about us, about our guests on beyondthewildpodcast.com website. The merch store is up there as well, newly released, and it always will be some stuff changing over the months ahead too, but check that out. And any support for the show is obviously very gratefully appreciated, and we're humbled by it. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to another episode, and we hope that you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Cheers.
And that's a wrap for another episode of Beyond the Wild podcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Pictureline.com, your online source for everything photography, and Canon USA.